Okay, let's get started. Welcome to the deep dive. So, the really fascinating insights from this stack of material we have on artificialintelligence.ai, it seems like it's everywhere now, moving incredibly fast. It's touching, well, everything from the phone in your hand to global policy debates and even how music and art get made. So, yeah, let's jump right in and see what these sources reveal. We can start with where AI often feels most immediate for us, the tech we use every day. And what these sources really highlight is a pretty striking difference in how the big players are tackling it. So on one side, you've got Apple. They seem to be taking a very cautious path. The feeling here is that, yeah, maybe some subtle AI features might appear in iOS 18. Things like smarter battery tech, maybe some personalized health insights, but a really big overhaul of Siri, the kind we've sort of been waiting for that's reportedly still years away, maybe 2026, maybe even later. It suggests a slow, very deliberate integration. Now, contrast that, right? Contrast that with Google DeepMind. They're apparently working on an AI assistant specifically for your email inbox. But here's the really interesting part. The goal isn't just sorting your mail or simple replies. This AI is being designed to actually learn your personal writing style. Think about that an assistant helping manage email, but drafting responses that sound authentically like you. That's a much more direct, almost intimate kind of application, aiming to embed AI right into our daily work. Okay, so moving from our devices to the bigger picture, AI is obviously a huge topic in policy and governance circles right now. And in the U.S., these sources point to some interesting shifts happening. The AI Safety Institute, for example, seems to be maybe refocusing its mission a bit, leaning more heavily towards the national security risks posed by AI, perhaps less emphasis compared to before on these broader international safety frameworks. And this kind of connects to a pretty major political debate that's brewing. There's this proposal from Republicans suggesting a 10-year freeze on any state level AI regulations. Now, that immediately drew criticism, right, from groups worried about risks like algorithmic discrimination, where AI systems might unintentionally amplify existing societal biases. It really throws that tension into sharp relief, the push for innovation speed versus the need for safeguards. Meanwhile, looking overseas, you see something quite different in India, specifically the state of Odisha. They have this really ambitious plan. They want to get AI education into like 90% of their schools by 2036 and build dedicated innovation centers too. It shows a very different long-term strategic approach to building AI capacity right from the ground up. Let's zoom out even further now and think about the industry impacts, because these sources surface some, well, pretty stark realities. The CEO of Klarna, the payment company, he was very blunt about AI and job losses. He mentioned their own experience, saying they replaced a significant number of customer service roles with AI, and the result, a saving of about $40 million annually. So that's not just theory, that's a concrete example of the economic disruption AI can cause. Then you add the geopolitical layer to this. The CEO of Palantir, Alex Karp, he framed AI development as this really urgent race, basically arguing the US has to lead and warning that getting bogged down in regulation here could hand a major competitive advantage to other countries, like China. It paints AI not just as tech, but as a critical strategic asset, on the world stage. And kind of hanging over all of this is the environmental cost. A UN report mentioned here points to a really striking figure: 150% surge in emissions from major tech companies in just 3 years. And that's largely put down to the huge energy demands of AI processing and all the data centers needed to power it. So as this industry booms, its environmental footprint is, well, it's becoming a serious challenge we can't ignore. Okay, finally, let's end on something a bit more creative. It's quite fun, actually. These sources mention Bjorn Ulvaeus, from ABBA. Apparently, he's embracing AI, using it as a kind of co-creative partner, leveraging it to help overcome writer's block and generate ideas for a new musical he's working on. It's just a great little example of AI popping up in unexpected places, not just for efficiency or policy, but actually sparking artistic creation. So, yeah, quite a journey in this deep dive today. We've touched on the different paces AI is entering our devices, those intense policy debates about regulation and security, the big economic shifts like job displacement, the whole geopolitical race aspect, that very real environmental costs, and even, AI helping write music. It's clear AI is weaving itself into almost every part of life incredibly quickly, shaping policy, jobs, creativity, everything. And as we try to navigate all this rapid change, this dive into the sources kind of leaves us with a big question to think about. What does leading in AI really mean? Is it just about being the fastest, the most dominant, technically gaining that economic edge? Or does genuine leadership absolutely have to include building in safety, equity, and environmental sustainability right from the very start? Just something to mull over from today's deep dive.